Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim. A while back, I did a video on the Osprey Farpoint travel system. It's basically a suitcase that turns into a backpack. In fact, it turns into two backpacks. If you're looking for something like that, but you don't want to spend quite that much money and don't need the overbuilt system for the actual luggage, you might want to have a look at this pack from Decathlon. This is Decathlon's Forclaz brand, and this is the Travel 500 organizer. This is a 40-liter pack that is meant to be a backpack and not so much luggage. However, the interior makes it more like a piece of luggage than a backpack, although the outside is more like a backpack than a piece of luggage. The nice thing about this is it's only $99. It is extremely well made, and if you're the kind of traveler that likes to use a backpack pretty much all the time, but you don't want something with all the bells and whistles of something like the Farpoint, this might be the way to go. Let's just start with an outside tour. The outer material is an abrasive-resistant rubberized cover. Doesn't say that it is waterproof, and given that the zipper is not sealed, I wouldn't call this a waterproof pack. However, the outside here is definitely not going to let any liquid through, so your light rain kind of situation's probably going to be fine. One of the cool things about this pack is that right here in this little zipper compartment is a rain cover. So you are able to cover this thing up in case of rain. There's a lot of extra material here because this pack expands, but while it's collapsed, that's what it's going to look like. If you don't need this, you've got a huge compartment in here. This compartment is the entirety of the front of the pack. Otherwise, you can just stuff that back in there, smooth it out a little bit if you want. So that is the front. No pockets or anything on the front. On the back, you have your harness system. This is a pretty elegant system. It's very nice looking. You've got the same kind of rubberized material on the outside here. You've got an extra elastic strap. This could be used for sunglasses or something. You have a sternum strap that is adjustable. It just kind of flops around. This is not like a high-tech hiking backpack, obviously, but nice to have this on here. You also have load lifters of a sort. These are really just going to serve to pull the backpack into your back and not actually take the weight off. Not that that should be an issue with the kind of loads you're going to be carrying with this backpack. Like the other Forclaz pack that I own, you've got nothing on one hip belt, but a hip pocket on the other. Now this one is a stretch mesh. It is pretty wide. My phone, which is I think fairly standard, just barely fits. I'm not able to really use this compartment when the pack is on, because once this rounds out a little bit, it isn't going to work, but the phone does get in there to give you some idea of what you're looking at. You've got a good buckle system. It is a front pull, which I don't like. I prefer rear pull, but again, for a pack like this, this is not something you're going to be taking out on some great trekking adventure. The pack also has these handy thumb loops that I like to use to just hold my hands up while I'm hiking. The padding is very nice. You've got two good squishy shoulder pads and one lumbar pad. This is going to allow airflow and heat escape. Now, something to note here is that this is not an adjustable harness system. I would say that the perfect torso length on here is going to be about 16 inches. I'm a 19, so this is not going to fit me correctly in the sense of placing the hip belt right on the hip bones. However, considering that this is mostly just going to be filled up with clothing and stuff like that, that's not terribly important. This is going to be more for stability than load shifting. You do have two big handles right here, which I suppose would be good for lifting and placing maybe in an overhead bin. Unfortunately, this pack does not really double as a suitcase. Even though the form factor suggests it, you don't have a handle anywhere on the sides to carry it like a suitcase. You can, however, pick it up from either end with these carry handles. You have 4 compression straps that loosen up in the usual way. and this expands the volume of the pack. You can either just simply adjust these or unsnap them for quick access. They only come apart on one side because the way this opens, you're only going to need it on one side. On top, we have a top pocket, good size. Also comes with the little key toggle. The zippers on these have an unusual little loop going right over the top here. And the idea is you put the front through, the zipper pulls out, and now it becomes difficult to open. So thieves are going to have a harder time getting in here. When you're ready to open it, you flip it around, put it back through, and then pull it. This cordage can also be used for a locking system. You've got a gigantic mesh pocket on this side. Together with the compression strap, you could get quite a bit in here. I've actually put a smart water bottle and a full-sized 1-liter bottle in here, and there is still room to spare. So this would be great for a jacket or something you want to keep on the outside and get quick access to. On the other side, you have more of a standard water bottle pocket. Right now, it's going to do very well with a smart water bottle size bottle, but if you unzip it, that allows the pocket to open even bigger, and now you can get something like a full-size Hydro Pack or Nalgene bottle inside there. There's nothing on the bottom, storage-wise, and that brings us back around to this side. Right here is a laptop compartment. So between the frame that supports the harness and the padding on the inside, you can put a laptop. This will hold up to a 15-inch laptop, so it does not fit mine. All right, so let's look inside this thing. Around the top, you've got nice beefy zipper. This will support a standard luggage lock. And the reason these don't come off is now obvious because they are sort of a hinge to get you into the pack. So you've got 3 main compartments. One really big one. This is great for clothes and stuff like that. This little guy here is the pocket from the top of the pack. So if you do decide to use that, it is going to fill this section of the pack. The rest of this is pretty standard. There are no internal compression straps here. You've got a mesh cover, dual zips. Over here you have a smaller compartment. This pushes into the front. So if you don't have a lot of stuff loaded in the front here, like just if you have the rain cover, this can actually push into it and you can actually fit a pair of shoes in here. You can see my hands are all the way inside. This is separated internally from this top compartment here. So this third compartment, kind of the mid-sized one, also pushes into the front panel. And hanging inside is a small utility pocket, be good for toiletries and stuff like that. So it's a pretty simple organizational system, which I like. Obviously, this pack is not going to be something you're going to be using out in the backcountry. It's a travel organizer. I think that given how nice it looks, how comfortable it is, this thing is fantastic for that purpose. You're going to do just fine for like an overnight or a weekend. You can get quite a bit of clothes in here, especially if you roll them the way you're supposed to. And as long as you don't mind the fact that it remains a backpack at all times, if you appreciate these kinds of features, but you want something that is more of a travel size, the Forclaz Travel 500 might be the one for you. If you're a big traveler and you like the backpack experience, I think that the Forclaz Travel 500 is a very good option. It's very comfortable, it looks nice, and it still has that cool backpack functionality without all of the unnecessary things that you would typically find in a backcountry type backpack that you don't really need for something that is just going to help you get through a long weekend. I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, would you mind giving it a like? Subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you're into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Until next time, I am Doug. Thanks for watching.